let's put these books down. Baby girl, I'm about to drop all these books, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Oh, I forgot to put this picture in the thumbnail. What? You know what? Put this picture in the thumbnail. Put this book in the thumbnail. Oh, well. It is what it is, honey. We ain't retaking it. We ain't redoing this. Or are we? Maybe we will.
Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back to another video. And today, we're going to talk about some books to read if you like Jane Austen. Alright y'all, so I thought for Jane Austen July, I would do a recommendation video for my friends who love books like Regency romance, all the things. Just thought about another one. I can't find the book. You guys, I'm gonna have to put a picture on it. Okay, moving on. I just thought about another one, I forgot. Okay, anyway, anybody that likes Jane Austen, like fiction books that I have read that give off a Jane Austen quote vibe, feel, whatever you want to say. And that's what I would do because I'm not planning on reading any more Jane Austen this year. I needed a break from her books, honestly. I have loved Pride and Prejudice. And this is the copy of Pride and Prejudice I have. I have another one somewhere, but it's actually at my office at work because it's one of my favorites. But this is another one I really enjoy. Love this cover. This is the Puffin Books edition. And then, of course, I have read Northanger Abbey. I don't know where my copy is for that. Dropping books. Is it any wonder I can't get nothing done? I'm always dropping stuff. Okay, so chaos. So anyway, I've read Northanger Abbey and really liked it. Gave it 5 stars. But then I read Persuasion and I was not really here for it. It just didn't work for me personally. So yeah, that's kind of my journey with Jane Austen. But at some point, I do want to get back into her other books, Emma, Mansfield Park, all of that stuff. And we'll see. Sense and Sensibility, you know, we'll see what I think. But as someone who loves Pride and Prejudice, all my heart, like that's my bread and butter. I am one of them girlies, yes. I'm late to the party. I'm late to the party, okay? I really am. Because I didn't even read it till like 3 years ago. I'd never seen the 2005 movie till last year. Blake loves it too. I'd seen my first experience watching any adaptation was with the BBC, with Colin Firth. Like, I actually really enjoyed both of those, this TV show and the movie. I think the movie is more my favorite, but the more accurate adaptation would be the show. So they're both great in my eyes. But as someone who loves that, I thought this would be so fun for Jane Austen July, which is a big readathon if you didn't know in the Booktube community. I know Katie at Books and Things does it with some other ladies, but I thought this would be really fun to just do a recommendation for any books that are reminiscent of Jane Austen or has like the vibe or maybe some of the same characters or whatever you want to call it. If I've read any of these books, the reviews for that will be linked down below. And I have not read all of these books, of course, but I own several that I need to get to that have a similar vibe for Jane Austen. So yeah, and I have one author in particular that is very reminiscent of Jane Austen in her works that I'm so excited to talk to you guys about if you don't already know about her. So first off, let's talk about the ones I don't physically own or can't find. There's one I cannot find. I looked and looked, I'm like, where is that book? So who knows? It's here. But first up, we've got Jane of Austen by Hilary Manton Lodge. I read this earlier this year. It was a 3-star read for me, but honestly, it wasn't bad. It was a good 3-star. More of a positive way than negative. It was just fine, right? This book is a modern retelling of Sense and Sensibility. Okay, and it's set in Texas, and that's what I really liked about it was like the Texas feel. You know, it's like they blended this author blended the Texas themes with Austen inspired stuff, and that was fun. You know, but there's lots of tea and food, like actual tea, but food, sister bonds and stuff like that from Sense and Sensibility. I know about the story of Sense and Sensibility now, but I've never read or watched an adaptation, anything of the actual story from Jane. But these sisters end up relocating to Texas, Austin, Texas, from was it San Francisco? I think California, somewhere in there. And they are, what were they doing? Rebuilding their lives? Yeah, I'm looking at our review because, again, it's one of those like palate cleanse, it's out your brain kind of once you're done, you know what I mean? But it's fine while you're reading it. So forgive me if I'm looking at my review, but Yeah, so Jane and Celia Woodward, that's our characters. And they are trying to rebuild their lives. They had some financial hardship. They moved, like I said. And the first 60% of this was around 4 stars. I really liked it. But, because, like, honestly, there's a lot of recipes and stuff that was, like, that was what the charm of the book was. But then, like, there was some weird stuff with the romance I didn't care for that's very insta-love. And, like, then Jane's character in this book was very off the waysides, if you will. So that's why I didn't really care as much for it. But it's still a good 3-star. I think a lot of y'all would like this. I know, that's why I wanted to mention it. And the ending with this character, Teddy, was kind of weird. But other than that, it was good. It was good. You know, nothing crazy, but it was good. So, wanted to mention it for my friends because that is definitely one that I recently read that, even though I've not really read Citizen's Ability, I wanted to recommend that, okay? And then one that I can't find the book. I really want to find the book. But who knows? We're just going to go on with it. And that is a Kristi Ann Hunter, A Noble Masquerade. I'm going to look at my review for that. Here we go. I read this in 2023. It's funny. It gives off everything it needs to give for Jane Austen. I laugh so much. This is book 1 in the Hawthorne House series, and I need to continue on with it, and I just haven't. But in this, we have Lady Miranda, and she is, like, writing her brother's best friend, the Duke of Marshington. I'm going to look at my letters, notes. Oh my gosh, she's writing pretend letters to him because she likes him. And they get into the wrong hands. And who was it? The brother's valet? Yeah. Marlowe. He ends up sending the letters. And I can't say too much because, spoilers, but she finds herself having feelings for 2 different people. But the way it was done was great. It was, I can't even say, but there's like lots of Regency stuff in this. So good. I absolutely loved it. It gives off a vibe. It's not a retelling or anything. It's just like that vibe that you want. I loved it so much. It gave me what it needed to give. It's very lighthearted, high society, all that stuff. Why am I spinning in a circle? I don't know what I was doing. Okay. Let's put this aside. Right now, I want to talk about the physical ones I have. So, The Other Bennett Sister by Janice Hadlow. I love this book, you guys. I want to say I read it last year. This was so good. It's like Pride and Prejudice retold, all about Mary, the sister you don't really know much about. And it's like, what if Mary Bennett's life was a different path? And I just really enjoyed it. I can't say too much, but it takes a while to unfold. It's a chunk. I mean, it's literally, 460 pages. It's definitely a big book, right? For what it gave what it needed to give. But it took me a while. And the font is small, you guys. It really is a smaller font book. It's worth the read because you need to read Pride and Prejudice first. But, like, I really appreciated this after reading that, and it made me really see Mary Bennet in a light that I never saw in another way. Absolutely love this book so much. It was really great. It was just a bit slow. So the only reason it wasn't like a 5-star favorite, but I mean, it's one that sticks with me that I still love. So, want to recommend that. Review's going to be linked, as always. I have not read this one, and this is Murder in Highbury, and this is an Emma Knightley mystery by Vanessa Kelly. There's so much Jane Austen stuff going on right now, you guys. Okay, but this one, I don't know when it came out. When did this come out? Was it pretty recently? Wait. Is this upside down? The dust jacket on this is upside down, y'all. What have I done? I opened a book and it was upside down. Not good. Okay. Let me get myself straight because is anybody surprised? When was this written? That's what I want to know. Because I want to say it was pretty recent. Okay, yeah, 2024. Okay, cool. So this says well, this ain't the synopsis. What? That ain't either. Here we go. This is its first in a new series. Jane Austen's Emma Knightley entertains a different role in Highbury, going from clever matchmaker to Regency England's shrewdest sleuth. Okay, so yeah. I probably need to read that one before I read this. But I thought I would mention it as for something for y'all to look into if you've read Emma and whatnot and you want to try something different and you like a cozy mystery. It's giving cozy mystery. I don't know content in this either. It's published by Kensington, I want to say. Yeah. So I don't know what the content is for this, but sounds good. Why not? I got this recently off a book outlet. So now, this is the one I have read. Probably should have split this up better, but we're going in order of the stack. Edenbrooke. by Julianne Donaldson. Am I, again, late to the party? Yes, ma'am. I'm so late to the party. But Edenbrooke, I did a whole dedicated reading vlog for this. I will link it. No spoilers. But I thoroughly enjoyed my time with this. This is about Lady Marianne Daventry, and she's going to meet her sister at Edenbrooke, the estate Edenbrooke. And I mean, the cover is giving, obviously, Prime Prejudice to me anyway. Come on. This is like Keira Knightley out there waiting on him. Come on. I'm just kidding. But, and this is giving Pemberley to me anyway. So, this book, she's going to meet her sister Cecily, her twin sister, Cecily, at Edenbrooke. And she gets there before her sister. There was all this shenanigans with like the carriage ride and stuff. Someone like robbed the carriage, and she ends up meeting this man named Philip. I won't say who he is or how he's related to any of this stuff, but they have like this romance that starts to ensue, and it's beautiful. I laughed. I had so much fun with this. Watch my reading vlog. It gives Regency. It gives Prime Prejudice. There's a character in here who reminds me of Mr. Collins. There's so much that I just loved with this. I don't know. There was at least one scene that was like, I'm like, this is giving boiled potatoes scene. Like, it was so funny. I had a lot of fun with this book. Edenbrooke, really great. It's a proper romance, so it is clean, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time. I need to read like the little prequel thing now, and then Blackmore is also one that I'm going to pull out of the stack. I've not read it yet, but here we are, Blackmore. Julianne Donaldson. This is the next book after Edenbrooke, and this follows Kate Worthington. She knows she can never marry the man she loves, so she plans to travel to India, if only to find a peace for her restless spirit and to escape the family she abhors. But Kate's meddlesome mother has other plans. She makes a bargain with Kate. India, yes, but only after she has secured and rejected 3 marriage proposals. Is that all we need to know or what? Like, that is right there giving something like Jane Austen would have wrote, like, to me. So she's got a childhood friend, Henry, honey, the proposal. What? I need to read this. I read the synopsis. It's set in 1820. Blackmore's a Regency romance. Let's go. So this will probably be similar. I'm sure Jane Austen fans would like that too. All right. Next, we have an author, and I need to actually find, where is book 1? I wanted to, you know what, it's fine. We're going to go with what we got, because I don't even know where book 1 is. I think I put it up. But this author, Kim Griffin, writes Not Quite Mr. Darcy. Then here's Not Quite Colonel Brandon. And she has another one, Not Quite Mr. Knightley. And this is a local author to me in Tennessee. I have met her. She's very sweet. And she has these Christian romances that are all centered around like a Jane Austen theme with some really great faith elements. So I've not read her books, but I've heard some really great things, and I own the first 2. And I think I own the 3rd one on ebook too. So yeah, she was a lovely person, and I just really want to mention her books for you guys because I think they're probably worth checking out from what everyone has told me, right? So, yeah, definitely from the title, you can obviously tell these are like Jane Austen inspired, and I love that they're Christian romances. So, then I've got a couple I've not read here. This is called Pride and Premeditation. This is a secular book, but it's Tirzah Price. Okay, I love this cover. I actually saw this from Jamie Jo Wright somewhere. I don't know if it was an email, if it was a post, somewhere. I saw that. So I was like, I trust her. Let's get it. So I got this obviously from Bookatlow with the little mark on the bottom. But this is a Pride and Prejudice murder mystery. And it says 17-year-old law student Lizzie Bennett and a young lawyer, Fitzwilliam Darcy, go head to head in a murder case. Listen, come on. I need to read this. I need to read this sooner and later. Come on, that's actual characters. Okay, yes. Then we have got Dear Mr. Knightley by Katherine Reay. Now, I've not read Katherine Reay, but she writes clean fiction. This is, I don't know if there's any faith or anything in it, but it's published by Thomas Nelson. And I've heard good things. But this says Samantha Moore has always hidden behind the words of others, namely her favorite characters in literature. Now she will learn to write her story by giving that story to a complete stranger. So Sam is, to say the least, bookish, an English major of the highest order. Her diet has always been Austen, Dickens, and Shakespeare. The problem is that both her prose and conversation tend to be more Elizabeth Bennet than Samantha Moore. But life for the 23-year-old orphan is about to get stranger than fiction. An anonymous Dickensian benefactor, I don't know, calling himself Mr. Knightley, offers to put Sam through journalism school. There's only one catch. She has to write frequent letters to the mysterious donor detailing her progress. Okay, again, I've not read the synopsis for this one either, but I found it on my shelf. I don't know when I picked this up. So, yeah, had to mention it for you guys to look into if it sounds interesting to you. Hello, friends. It is Sunday. I'm trying to get this video out for Monday. Real time. Hey, girl. I'm editing this video, and I just want to update with a book I recently finished, you guys. What? When my little boys are No Stone Unturned by Jenelle Hovde. This book is definitely for my Jane Austen fans as well. It had a lot of like Northanger Abbey feel, if you will. So this is a Christian historical romance. It just recently released, and it's in Regency, England. We've got lots of restoration, ruins, antiquities, unexpected discoveries, and the slow burn elegance of the story, if you will. I think if you like authors like Jane Austen, Julie Klassen, Abigail Wilson, then you're gonna like this. Also, archaeology. Really, really unique. I've not seen anything like this in Christian fiction, actually in just fiction in general, ever, you know, from anything I've ever read personally. So this follows Miss Bridget Littleton, who is not your typical society lady, okay? She's very passionate about preservation of history, antiquities, artifacts, all of those things, and she finds herself basically at odds with the new lord of Hawthorne Abbey over like an ancient, I guess the Abbey is kind of over this ancient Roman mosaic. And so there's a lot of enemies to lovers stuff going on here with our characters, but it was really well done. Slow burn romance. And our main guy in here is Captain Rafe Hawthorne. And he's this hero who's kind of marked with a lot of hardship. I'm tired, honey. I need that second cup of coffee. And duty to really restore his family's legacy, his own worth, all of that stuff. And his uncle passes away, and he is kind of the new lord of the estate, and he's trying to fix a lot of things that's going on, but he's not too thrilled with Bridget. And so they kind of have these run-ins and all these things, and she has this quest to kind of dig on the property. Then there's some property, I guess, disputes as well. Lots of conflict, but the conflict creates a lot of high stakes, and they find themselves in this like reluctant partnership, if you will. So lots of chemistry starts to grow, all that good stuff. So there is a lot of like ties, I feel like, to Northanger Abbey personally from where I've read it. There may be other things since I've not read all of Jane's books, but Northanger Abbey, you know, it's like this abbey that is very mysterious, and you could definitely tell that there were some things going on in the abbey here that was mysterious. Like they were hearing certain noises and like, what is that? And then there were some mentions of like Bridget reading Udolpho, which is actually some stuff that was going on in Jane Austen, I'm pretty sure. Others have kind of compared this to Poldark atmospherically, and I can see that too. So yeah, lots of good things. I really feel like if you like Regency and you like just that enemies to lovers, like their banter too was kind of giving Darcy a little bit with them. I thought it was really good. Like their first interactions and things like that. So if you like that sort of stuff, definitely check out No Stone Unturned by Jenelle Hovde. Absolutely loved it. And I'll talk, of course, more about it in my end of month wrap up, but that's kind of my quick review on here. And I'll probably say the same things in the wrap up, I guess. But I really enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to reading more by this author. I'm really impressed, you guys. So yeah, it definitely sounds interesting to me. I'm sure I got more on this list somewhere, but we're just going to go with this last little stack here. And that is all these Julie Klassen books. Julie Klassen is an author I have thoroughly loved. She writes Christian historical romance books, and they always are feeling like, not all of them, but several of them do feel like Regency England, Jane Austen feel really enjoyable. So specifically, I don't know that a Castaway in Cornwall, this feels more like Poldark than Jane Austen, but it's still one I recommend. I love it. I will link the review. It's so good. But I would say The Sisters of Seaview. Actually, I saw recently the Minimalist Reads, her channel, Victoria, mentioned that she read this one. And this may or may not be a good thing for you guys. I don't think she loved it as much for this, but some of you may. I actually didn't know, but there are some characters from Jane Austen's, what's it, Emma? Or one of her books. I can't remember if it's Emma, Sensibility. See, I done forgot. But there are actual characters from Jane Austen's work in here. There's as side characters, I want to say. Forgive me if I'm saying that wrong, sis. But something like that. So be aware of that. But I remember really liking this one. I give it like a 3.5 to 4. It wasn't my favorite of hers, but I still enjoyed it and I would recommend it. I think a big part of it is I listened to this on audio and it is a bit hard to understand fully if I'm not physically reading personally. I want to physically reread this. That's a goal. This one and book 2 at some point. But the sister stuff in here, just, it definitely feels like Jane Austen. She's inspired. It's inspired by that, obviously. But we've got the father's death has left these sisters impoverished, this family. So you've got Sarah and her sisters, all these sisters of hers. They are forced to sell their house and they separate to earn livelihoods as a governess or companions elsewhere. So they're determined to stay together and Sarah convinces them to open the seaside home to guests to make ends meet for a while and to be able to provide for their mother. And so instead of the elderly guests that they expected to house, they have a bunch of like gentlemen show up. Was it eligible? Yeah, hosting eligible gentlemen. So Sarah is torn between this Scottish widower and a duty to her family. And then we have Viola and her, she's like, I remember feeling more relatable to her because I have a scar on my face and she has to wear a veil to cover her scar. And so I really liked her character for that because I found a lot of what she was going through relatable because I had my scar when I was 8 years old. It was a whole thing. So an accident as a child, falling off of a chair is how I got mine, and I really struggled with my appearance for years after that. And books are very slow. They're not going to be like fast-paced action stories or anything like that. They're definitely going to be ones like character-focused. You're going to be spending a lot of time in development here, so be aware when you go into this that it's going to be they're going to be slower reads. But The Sisters of Seaview is definitely one that's very Jane Austen-like. Also, I don't know. Yeah, I would say The Bridge to Bell Island is. Is it? Yeah, I think so. Kind of like, it says down here, a clever book that incorporates what readers love of Jane Austen, Downton Abbey, and a little bit of Jane Eyre. So yeah, this has like mystery, a lot of mystery in this one. I really liked. I give it like 3.5 to 4. And again, I just think I wasn't here for a slow story at the time, and I think if I reread it, I would feel a lot different. I want to reread some of these books when I have time to just deep dive and be still and not feel like I have to go. That's my problem sometimes. Every time I pick up a Julie Klassen, I'm in a mood for something quick, and I don't need to be. So, but this one was about this lawyer named Benjamin Booker, and he, like, an old friend of his gets killed and he's trying to investigate everything, and he goes to this remote island where he meets this lady. Okay, what's her name? Isabel. Yep. She has this whole thing where she can't leave the island, and she gets involved, of course, with this murder mystery, and that's almost like they work together in a way. He's kind of like talking to her a lot, all this stuff. A second person dies, evidence pointing to her. It's a good story. I really enjoyed it. I really want to reread it.
I would say The Painter's Daughter. What? Then we have The Painter's Daughter, and I would say this one to me didn't feel like Jane Austen, but did it? I read this before. I don't know.
So then we have The Painter's Daughter, and this is my favorite Julie Klassen. This is top of all the Julie Klassen books I've read. I gave it like 4.5 to 5 star. I just loved it so much. There's a lot of tea in this, a lot of stuff. It's just crazy. This is probably her most like I'm invested story. But this is Jane Austen meets Victoria Holt. Okay. So yeah, lots of like mystery again in this. This is like Regency romance, lots of secrets. Romance is top notch in this one. So Sophie DuPont, she is helping her father in the studio, okay? I want to say is it Marriage of Convenience in a way? Let me see. It's been a while since I read this. So Sophie DuPont, she's helping her father, and she is supposed to, oh yeah, she's supposed to be with Wesley, honey, and he ain't worth nothing, honey. So she's supposed to be with Wesley. He goes away, and his brother, Captain Stephen Overtree, takes on all of his responsibilities. He's like used to that stuff that happens where at the very beginning, I'm not gonna say, but Stephen has to marry her for some angle say, okay, in name only to save her from this scandal, okay. And he's about to go to war or something like that. And, like, if he dies, like, she's going to be fine as a respectable widow, all that stuff. But, like, they end up falling in love. And it's just a beautiful story of the love that they have and, like, everything that they go through. I love this book so much. It's really good. Lots of scandal stuff in this one, so. And then, of course, Shadows of Swanford Abbey is definitely very Jane Austen. Like, this is Agatha Christie meets Jane Austen in a very atmospheric Regency tale. I gave this one like a 3.5 to 4 star. This one, I think I gave it like a solid 4 actually. Maybe, I don't know. This one is definitely more slow. Probably one of the slowest out of all of hers, but you definitely want to sit with it. It's like this, it's surrounding this hotel. Obviously, you can tell from the cover, right? But we've got this lady named Rebecca, and she is going home after a few years away. Her brother is begging her for some favors here to go to Swanford Abbey and deliver this manuscript to this author that's staying there to help kind of get him published, right? So she feels like she has to do this, and she goes, and there's this grand hotel that she's going to, and it's rumored to be haunted. So it's giving like Northanger Abbey, I think, personally, because of the building and like the haunted and like the gothic feel. But Rebecca is noticing a lot of strange things in this place, and again, it's Northanger Abbey to me, just like that's the whole thing. And see, where I haven't read all of her books, I'm sure some of these others might be similar. I just haven't read them, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I know the story of Northanger Abbey, and this one definitely reminds me of that. So, anyway, lots of renovations and luxury in this place, but there's a lot of, like, whispers and, like, strange happenings and stuff going on. So, she ends up meeting this guy, Sir Frederick, and he is a widower and a former neighbor and a magistrate, and he broke her heart a long time ago, so there's some stuff with that. This famous author is found murdered, though, in the Abbey, and Sir Frederick is questioning the staff and the guests and all this stuff. It is a good story. I really liked it, but it's just slow. They're all slow. So, definitely a Jane Austen feel. So, I think that's all I have for you guys. I just wanted to do a video on this because it's Jane Austen July, and I've never really done a video like this for recommendations. So, yeah, I know that there's like an Appalachian retelling as well. Let's look that up, you guys. You want to? That's coming out later this year. I have it on NetGalley, actually. So, let's go off the cuff here for a second. Because I am actually really excited about this one. So, this is an anticipated release. Let's talk about that. There's actually a lot of like Prime Prejudice stuff coming out, I've seen, but well, just Jane Austen stuff in general. So one of them that comes out is called The Heart of Bennet Hollow by Joanne Bischoff DeWitt. Anyway, it's a Christian historical romance, and y'all, I mean, this cover is giving everything it needs to give. Okay, yes, it's an Appalachian Pride and Prejudice retelling. Why am I still not read it yet? I don't know. I've got all these other commitments. But it comes out on October the 7th. And this one says, okay, y'all getting the anticipated release early. 1904. Lisbeth, Lizbeth. Lisbeth. Okay. Lisbeth Bennett longs to preserve her family's farm, securing a future for her and her sisters. A difficult task in their Appalachian coal mining town. Money is scarce, and she is determined to find a way without giving up treasured pieces of her family legacy. But when the mine is put up for sale, it's clear change is approaching. A contingent of coal barons descend on the town to investigate whether the mine is worth their investment. Among them, a young man is rumored to be a very rich and eligible bachelor. William Drake... We got a William and Elizabeth. What? Okay. He arrives focused on business and keeping his distance from the townspeople especially those living on land entangled with the mine, including a farmer of the name of Bennett. As William digs through legal issues, her struggle to weigh the potential financial gain against what is right for the community grows more complicated when he meets one of the Bennett daughters. An awkward first meeting, they continue to cross paths, all the things. Let's go. I need to read that one. So that sounds really good. So I thought I'd mention that too. That's everything I have for you guys in full. I'm sure there's something else. Let me know some of your favorite books that are inspired by Jane Austen. I know there's a lot of books about Jane Austen as well and her life that I've been interested in here and there also. But let me know some that are either your favorite retellings or
some of your favorite inspired books or authors that you think write a lot of books or any
authors that are like very Jane Austen inspired works that they may have. So yeah, let's chat in the comments. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video. Let me know if you found a new favorite that you're going to be interested in. All the good things. Everything's going to be linked in the description. Shopping links, reviews, all of those things. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.